some Rams preseason football on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network. And it is a final. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Rams tonight. Sunday Night Football at SoFi is in the books.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. React to today's game.
And a tough way for the Rams' chances to end tonight in the fourth quarter.
Third down 19 now. 2 snaps to get 19 yards from the Eagles' 41. Stafford, top of his drop, pressure in his face, hit, fumbled, still down. Rams recover way back in LA territory at the 45. And this game is down to its last play.
Rams back below 500. They're 5-6. Eagles move to 9-2. We'll react right now on the Rams postgame show. Live from Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino. Park Party and Play. Travis Rodgers, Kirk Morrison. We'll react on the game, all the postgame commentary and sound, and your calls. 877-710-ESPN. Let's do it. The Rams postgame show on this Sunday night right now.
Hi, this is Sean McVey of your LA Rams. The Rams play here.
Now inside the lobby at Hollywood Park Casino with Kirk Morrison. Here is Travis Rodgers.
Whose house?
Not tonight. It wasn't. It was a very, very rough night for the LA Rams. Final score 37-20. All Eagles, especially in the second half, Kirk. And if there was any question if the Rams were going to find their footing and go on a run in the second part of the season the way they did, especially against some top-flight competition, tonight was not the night. They were badly outclassed on both sides of the football.
They got blown out tonight.
Yep.
It looked good for about a quarter, maybe a half.
Yeah.
And the better team just won. I thought Chris Collinsworth said it best. You're watching that game, and then you realize, you look across and just say, they've got better dudes than us.
Yeah.
They're a better team than we are right now. Now, there's still a lot of football left in this season. Still got 6 more games for the Rams. There's still a lot in front of them. I don't know where they're going to be in 6 weeks. But I tell you, today, they are not that good compared to what they were across from them today with the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, I think you're right, and I think two things. Is a classic example of two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
They still have some things to play for over
Correct.
the remaining 6 games of the season. There is still a path for them to win the NFC West. There is still a path for them to even potentially win an NFC wild card. They are nowhere near as good as that team tonight. Right. If that is what it takes to be at the top of the NFC, the Rams aren't there right now. That is a wide gap on both sides of the ball.
If that's the standard, the Rams are below that standard.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about the Detroit Lions are sitting right now 10-1, one of the best records in all of the NFL. And then right behind them, the Philadelphia Eagles at 9-2, the Minnesota Vikings at 9-2. I know that if there is a, boarding group, that's zone 1. Okay? First class, zone 1. Okay, you're good.
Yeah,
the Rams are in the back.
They might be
5.
standby. They may be hoping for an empty seat at the end of the flight, right? They're hoping for. It's funny you said it that Minnesota at 9-2. And your record is, you are what your record says you are. When the Rams played them, you're like, okay. Yeah, they're about the same. Not tonight.
No.
Not tonight, and especially not when you start talking about a player like Saquon Barkley, who had a career-high 255 yards, 26 carries, a pair of touchdowns, and the 2 touchdowns, one was from 70 yards, the other one was a little bit longer at 72. The Rams, I thought, and you said it, we talked a little bit about the half. I thought the Rams did a relatively good job on him in the first half. He had a decent amount of yards. I think he had about 75 yards at the half, but it didn't feel like he was killing them. And then the first play of the third quarter, boom, 70 yards, touchdown.
Yeah.
And you could just feel the air go out of the building at that point.
They were getting Saquon down in the first half. He wasn't getting the big runs, and you felt it. It was like, oh, okay, I got him down. Oh, okay, got him down. And then all of a sudden, that second half, it was good night, Irene. All right, it was strike up the band. It was fly, Eagles, fly. Once he got in the open field, and you could just tell it was a foot race that the Rams just weren't going to win. You got it. It happened one time, and then the one that really blew the game wide open, it was the one that just good night. To me, just showed you why he's one of the best backs in the National Football League.
He might have jumped to the top of the MVP list tonight, Kirk. I know that this is an award that typically goes to quarterbacks. I believe Adrian Peterson was the last running back to win the MVP, and that was a long time ago. But, because no quarterback's really running away with it, and they're saying, Lamar Jackson's having a good year, Josh Allen, there are some other guys out there. But seeing Barkley do what he did tonight and seeing where the Eagles are and seeing how they stack up against the rest of the best teams in the NFL, you have to wonder if he didn't just improve his chances tremendously with his performance tonight.
Yeah, I think he's the big story this whole season right now. The New York Giants allowed him to go in free agency. There was a number that they would not cross when it comes to Saquon Barkley. He decided to sign with the division rival, Philadelphia Eagles. And it's like every game – we're just saying, you could just go to Twitter during the game, after game, New York Giants, really? Like, really? I think even last week when they played on that Thursday night game against Washington and you heard the fans chanting, "Thank you, Giants."
Yes.
Because Saquon Barkley, there were two running backs on the field for the most part in the game today. There was Kyron Williams for the Rams, and there was Saquon Barkley. And it was like, one was Amazon Prime and one was Temu. It was just, let's be honest, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Today. Like, you got the Amazon Prime from Saquon Barkley. He was fast. He was quick. you may even got it in the same day, but it was definitely next day for sure. Temu was going to take a little bit of time.
You're going to have to wait.
Yeah, you have to wait. And then you don't know the kind of product you're going to get. Because you sometimes get the product like, wait, what's this?
That's not what it looked like on my phone.
That's not what the picture looked like.
Sometimes with this was one of those, I ordered on Amazon and an hour later it's on my doorstep. That's what Barkley looked like tonight. He was just absolutely terrific. You look at Matthew Stafford's performance tonight, at least statistically, it stacks up pretty well. 24 out of 36, 243 yards, a pair of touchdowns, no interceptions. Not too bad as far as the numbers go, but he was running for his life, Kirk.
Correct.
They had him on the run, pretty much starting around the middle of the second quarter through the end of the game. It felt like he had next to no time at all to try to do what he needed to do.
Yeah, it was, he only had, he was sacked 5 times. And it was because the threat of the run didn't really put any fear into the Philadelphia Eagles. There was no really fear. We actually invited you to run. I don't know, you heard me a couple times on the game, like, they're inviting you to run. They want you to run. They want you to run. Because they were lined up in pass rush sets because they were coming after the quarterback. And I wanted this game to be a shootout, but it also was – because the Rams are going to be ahead. When they were playing from behind and they had to play from behind against that defense, Brandon Graham in his 15th year looked like an all-pro tonight.
Yeah, no.
That's the second time I've been seeing it this year. We saw a couple weeks ago with Calais Campbell today, who's been in the league for like 20 years, and then you see it again today with Brandon Graham. It's like these older veterans are like, oh, you give a quarterback and an offense that's one-dimensional, I can start going in my bag, and now I've seen it a couple times in prime time.
An offense that's one-dimensional, a quarterback that's kind of going to be where you expect him to be. He's not going to make a ton of plays with his legs, and an offensive line that is if we're being generous, Kirk, a work in progress. Obviously, no Rob Havenstein again tonight, but you saw really almost without exception, everybody had a tough time tonight. Warren McClendon, of course, probably near the top of that list. I thought Steve Avila had a rough night as well. It just felt like nobody up front was really, and this has been the story of this team on offense for most of the year, whether it's through injury or performance. Those 5 guys up front haven't been able to put together a bunch of games in a row that lead you to believe that they're going to be able to move the ball consistently and score points.
No, I didn't see that tonight. And this is one of those nights, and I can't wait to hear what the people out there have to say.
Sure.
Just because I want to know. Because I don't think this was one of those games where, what do people say? Oh, it was on Sean McVey. No, it was not on Sean McVey. No, it wasn't on Chris Shula. That was a better team. Like, let's just be – sometimes you got to say, you know what? Okay, I go across, I'll shake your hand. Nick Sirianni, your bunch is better than my bunch. Give me about 6 weeks, because if things start to play out the way that they are, 2 things here. Rams could be playing against this Eagles team possibly as a wild card or maybe in the divisional round. That's a possibility. I'm saying that the Rams have a lot to improve on, but today this was not your day because that team is rolling.
Yeah, a divisional matchup, a wild card matchup, that feels a long way away.
A long way away. But it's a possibility.
It is a possibility, mostly because, and this is something that we can get into coming up in just a little bit. It was on the table for them. Obviously, Philadelphia is a team at a different point in their journey in
Correct.
the 2024 season. But the NFC West is wide open. The Rams had a chance to step into a three-way tie for the division. Instead, they fall back into a tie with San Francisco at the bottom. Now, the good news is you do play all three of those teams.
Correct.
You do have a game against the Jets coming up. You do have a game against the New Orleans Saints in a week. But like we've been talking about all along, you're going to have to find a win against somebody who maybe you don't think that they're matching up with right now. We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. Plus, your phone calls, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Your phone calls will continue to talk about the Rams' 37-20 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles here in Week 12 at SoFi Stadium. We are back with all of that on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
What's up, everybody? It's Jason Kelsey, and I'm here with my slightly famous little brother, Travis, a.k.a. Big Yeti Kelsey.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're here to bring you a next-level entertainment experience with our show, New Heights.
We're covering all the hardest-hitting topics in order of importance. UFO sightings, the ideal PB&J combo, and, of course, next-level access to life inside the NFL and in the booth. Listen and watch New Heights wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to listen to us first without any interruptions and get bonus content, join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change, is a proud sponsor of the LA Rams radio broadcast on 710 ESPN. For over 35 years, Valvoline Instant Oil Change has provided quick, convenient maintenance services for busy people. Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and more. Rush into your neighborhood Valvoline and let the expert technicians make sure your ride is in peak performance. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and to score game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Huddle up, guys. Here's the play. Get to Unify Financial Credit Union on 3. Just hit any of Unify's 11 SoCal branches to join the winning financial team. They've got everything to tackle your financial goals. And the faster you join, the sooner you take those savings to the end zone. Plus, you'll score exclusive LA Rams experiences like chances to meet other players or tickets to a game or suite. Join online at unifyfcu.com. Break. Insured by the NCUA. Unify Financial Credit Union is the official credit union of your Los Angeles Rams.
Healthcare is full of questions, and for over 80 years, Quidel Ortho has delivered answers. From one season to the next, healthcare teams around the country have trusted our medical diagnostics expertise to help them make winning decisions for their patients. From home to hospital, lab to clinic, we are a key player on patients' medical teams. And here in LA, we are proud to be an official partner of the Los Angeles Rams. Quidel Ortho, changing lives one test at a time. Learn more at QuidelOrtho.com.
Thanksgiving to-do list. Eat, nap, watch football, play slots and blackjack. Oh, if there was only a place I could do everything. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Black Friday shopping in our ballroom. Get top brands including JBL and Chewy. Pay with cash, credit, or points. Noon to 10 p.m. the 29th.
And the number one reason.
We're going country. It's Morongo's Grand Ole New Year's Eve. Giddy up and get your tickets now, y'all.
Morongo, good times.
Los Angeles, your Rams will be back home on Sunday, December 8th as they take on the Buffalo Bills. All eyes will be on the Rams as Matthew Stafford will go head-to-head against Josh Allen and the Bills. The stage is set for an electric AFC-NFC matchup you don't want to miss. Grab your tickets today at therams.com/BUF. Again, that is therams.com/BUF to watch your Los Angeles Rams face off against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, December 8th at SoFi Stadium. See you at the Rams house.
This is Rams football on 710 ESPN. We'll react tomorrow. A Monster Monday, a Rams Reaction Monday. The 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block begins at 9 a.m. on 710 ESPN. And this is the Rams postgame show, live from Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino, Park Party and Play. Travis, Rodgers, Kirk Morrison react to tonight's Sunday night game. The fearsome Rams defense wasn't too fearsome tonight against this guy.
Right side run, Saquon Barkley clean for the line, steps through a tackle, midfield outside the numbers, right, 30, 20, 10, house call on the first play of the third quarter. 70 yards at SoFi Stadium for Saquon Barkley. And if an MVP is going to come from that position, why not Barkley?
Rams slip below 500. They're 5-6. They lose tonight to the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Once again, back to Hollywood Park Casino and back to Travis and Kirk.
the final score from SoFi, it was all Eagles tonight. The Rams lose by 17, and it wasn't that close. And, Kirk, you and I sat down from doing our halftime show, and we got back in our seats in the press box. And as the Rams kicked off to open the second half, I turned to you and I said, you know what? They're lucky to only be down 6 points at this point. This feels like they kind of got away with one. They're going to have to dig in right here. And the very next play was the play you just heard right there. Saquon Barkley, 70 yards to the end zone. And that just felt like maybe a bridge too far. I know that they came back. They scored a touchdown shortly thereafter to push it back to 6. But that really did feel like a blow, even though there was a ton of game left that they're going to have a hard time bouncing back from.
You always go into halftime to make adjustments. You talk, you figure some things out. You just kind of come with a different mindset in the second half. And you leave out of the locker room. And when you leave out of the locker room, say, hey, here we go. First drive. Here we go, fellas. Let's get the ball back. Let's do this. You're talking and hyping everything up. And I'll tell you this, a play like that, and I just felt, okay, the game's over.
Yeah.
You just knew, like, you go in at halftime,
they just weren't able
make
to
your adjustments, you come back out, and then all of a sudden, boom, they hit you in the mouth. And it was like the Rams were woozy, and they never recovered.
No, they didn't, and they really had trouble getting off the field, and they really had trouble staying on the field in third down. And it was late into the fourth quarter. They had not converted on a third down, and it was just it was a rough night across the board. Your phone calls coming up, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Let's start in Los Angeles with Chris. Chris, you're on with Travis and Kirk on the Rams postgame show. What's going on, Chris? Chris, can you hear me? All right, no Chris. Let's move on to the next one. Let's go to the Valley and Canoga Park. Let's check in with George. George, you're on with Travis and Kirk. What's up, George?
Hey, Travis. Hey, Kirk. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Just want to ask, with tonight's win with the Eagles, let's go Birds! Do we seem like legit contenders in the NFC, like against Detroit? What do you guys think?
Yeah. Kirk. I mean, think about, you have everything that you need. You've got a quarterback. You have a solid running back. Remember, they did a lot of their damage today without Devontae Smith. I mean, that's another outstanding receiver that you have there. Dallas Goedert didn't have a big game. You know, he had 4 catches for 19 yards. I love what you're doing offensively. Defensively, I saw this team make some plays. They harassed Matthew Stafford throughout the game. I like where this team is at right now. Can they contend with Detroit? I believe so. I think that they got a lot of the bad juju out in the beginning of the season. And right now, no one's talking enough about what Kellen Moore, who's calling plays, is their offensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, their defensive coordinator. The Eagles have won 7 games in a row. Just put it in perspective. Saquon Barkley looks like Saquon Barkley at Penn State.
Yeah.
They can contend. They've got the same firepower that I think Detroit has. Think about it. You can match receiver for receiver. You got Amon-Ra. Well, oh, look, the Eagles got A.J. Brown. Okay? They say, oh, well, they got Jamison Williams. Well, guess what? The Eagles got Devontae Smith. They got Sam Laporta. Okay, well, they got Dallas Goedert.
Yep.
You got Jahmyr Gibbs. We got Saquon.
Yep.
You got Jared Goff. We got Jalen Hurts. I mean, you're going blow for blow, and then you look at the defense, it's the same thing. Special teams also as well. So people are starting to see, like, this could be a collision course for a possible NFC Championship game, Detroit and Philadelphia.
Well, to kind of piggyback, George, on what Kirk was talking about, I think when you look at the NFC and you see what we've seen in the division of the NFC West, we've seen the Detroit Lions play the Rams. We saw the Philadelphia Eagles play the Rams. And we've seen the Seattle Seahawks are on top of the division right now. The Seahawks are miles away from those two teams.
Correct.
You look at the other team in the top of their division, the Atlanta Falcons, miles. And I know they beat Philadelphia. I understand that.
Right.
If they go again, I have no chance I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons in that situation. And then Minnesota we've seen. Green Bay we've seen. These are all teams that the Rams have played so far this season. And Detroit and Philadelphia are simply on a different level. Now, there's 6 weeks to go.
Correct.
You know, there are 6 more games to be played. A million things can happen.
Remember,
there are injuries, there are adjustments, there's all sorts of stuff. But from what I've seen, it is Detroit and Philadelphia and a wide gap to whoever fills out those other 5 spots in the NFC playoff picture.
The crazy part about all of this is that you're going to have some teams win divisions. And you're going to say, man, that's a great season. They won their division.
Yeah.
And they're still light years away from the teams that are going to be at the top.
Yep.
The Rams could win this division and make the playoffs. And you will say, congratulations, Sean McVay. Congratulations, Rams. So you make the playoffs. And yet Philadelphia is up here. Detroit is up here. Like, there is a big gap on success. And, yes, you celebrate the wins and the successes, but, man, you're looking in this window and you're saying, wait, that don't belong there. Like, you're a playoff team, but for some reason that playoff team looks different than you.
And here's the other thing. A lot of times you go into the playoffs, and it does feel like there's one or two teams that is kind of separate. That team does not always end up in the Super Bowl.
Right.
That a lot of weird stuff. There is a mile to go before the end of the season. There are still 6 games left before this thing is wrapped up. Let's try another phone call here. Let's go to Greg in Harbor City. Greg, you're on with Travis and Kirk on the Rams postgame show. What's up, Greg?
Good evening, guys. First of all, I'm a Ram fan, and I'll stick with them all year and watch them and root them on. But at some point, you just got to say, this is who my Rams are this year. They're below 500, and the prospect, like you said, the other teams are the 2 top teams. They're so much better. So it doesn't really matter what they do the rest of the year. I'm all in favor of, I don't know, maybe get draft choices for next year or something, because the Rams do not have it to be a threat this year at all.
Well, Greg, I don't know about that.
Football team, and I'll stick by them, but they just don't have it, and that's okay.
They might not, but here's the thing, and this is the thing. I think right now, Greg, you're right. This is an average team. They're 5-6. They've looked bad at times, like tonight, and they've looked better at other times. There are 6 games left in the season.
Correct.
That is a long time to go. And they need to start playing a lot better very, very soon. But I'm not ready to say that this isn't a team that can't make the playoffs. This isn't a team that can't do something if they get in the playoffs. Not like they look tonight. Now, they look like this tonight 1 or 2 more times over the course of the season, and they're in deep, deep trouble.
Trouble, yeah.
The answer maybe they might be average, but they're not a bad football team, but they got to get a lot better if they want to get on the level like we saw tonight with the Eagles.
Not only do they got to get better, they got to figure some things out. And when I say figure some things out, identity-wise, they got to figure, okay, this is what we're going to do.
Can I ask you something?
This is what we're
you
going
and
to
I
be.
talk about this during the pregame show all the time, about the Rams' identity and what's it going to be and how are they going to – if here we are, it's Thanksgiving in a week. If you don't have an identity by Thanksgiving, do you just not have one? And you're just kind of trying to figure it out week to week and hope that, we'll try to exploit a matchup here or there, that if you're still kind of trying on, personalities or identities at this point, maybe you just don't have one.
Yeah, you probably don't. You just get a piece of everything.
Right.
Special teams have to be great, but you missed field goals today. Defense has to be great. It was good, not great today. Offense had good moments, but not, the Rams did not convert a third down all night long. Travis, to me, this is a team that's still searching for an identity of okay, no matter what, we're going to hang our hat on this. And right now it's just, okay, it's Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. That's what the Rams and Matthew Stafford are hanging their hat on. As long as we got these 2 guys, this is who we're going to be. Because right now, I don't trust Kyron Williams. I just don't.
Well, he hasn't earned it.
He's done that.
He hasn't earned it.
He's got to earn my trust back.
Yeah.
See, and Sean McVay's got a much longer leash than I do. Because you fumbled a football.
Way longer.
The football is the program.
2 more tonight.
That's too many.
Two more tonight, including one that I thought changed at least the early part of the game. We'll come back and we'll talk about Kyron Williams and the 2 fumbles that he had, plus more of your phone calls as well, 877-710 ESPN. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Hi, this is Sean McVey of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma Brands radio station.
Your phone calls and the head coach of the Rams, Sean McVey. You'll hear him talk with JB and Maurice. That's all coming up on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Next Gen is the official plumbing, heating, and AC company of SoCal sports fans. Right now, ESPN LA listeners can book a drain cleaning for just $88. That's right, just $88, and you can keep your plumbing in top shape and ensure you're game day ready. So don't miss out. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN today to take advantage of this limited time offer. That's 833-3-NEXGEN or visit nextgenaironplumbing.com to schedule your $88 drain cleaning appointment today.
NEXGEN, call 833-3-NEXTGEN. Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs, woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in the Hyundai Santa Fe with 1.99% APR for 72 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end December 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Travis Rodgers and DeMarco Farr.
Monday morning at 9 a.m. after Greeny.
I did have an awkward meeting with Drew Brees.
Go.
And I've met him before, and it was weird.
When did this happen?
You know when they have the Monday night dais there, when all the talking heads. He was on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he pops off, and he goes, "What's up?" And I'm like, is he talking to me? I said, "What's up, Drew?" And he daps me up, but he was actually talking to the guy behind me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was one of those things, right?
So that's one of those things. If they don't use your name, you got to be like, "Are they talking to me?" Like if he said, "Yo, what's up, D-Far?" It's like, you're good. But if it's like, "Yo, what's up?" He's either looking somewhere else or he's like,
I
remember
Travis, he
his
was
face.
looking right at me. Right at me, and I dapped him up. "Hey, good to see you. Like, I don't know why we're doing this." And then he's talking to the coach behind me. My bad. Yeah, good to see you. Cool, though.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN. Sedano and Cap.
Back Monday at 3 p.m. after Mason and Ireland.
Again, remember, super fancy restaurant. So I go in, and it's got one of those toilets, those fancy toilets, because it's a fancy place, where it opens up the lid for you.
Oh, wow.
Right? Well, here's the point of all of this. The name of the story is the hot toilet seat. I sit down right on it. I don't put toilet paper down.
No
I don't
time.
put down. And when I sat down, gosh, this thing feels good. It's kind of warm. Wow, they've got like a heated toilet seat. The longer you sit on it,
you're sweating.
The hotter it gets. Today, I'll pull my pants down right now and show you guys. I have 4th-degree burns on both hamstrings and it's like a full-on red thing.
Now, if I stand behind you, so the camera doesn't, will you show me?
Here, switch.
It was just show me.
Then it got a little hotter.
Show me.
Then
Don't turn towards the camera.
Then it got a little.
Let me just see a little bit.
Can you take a look? Can you see this?
Oh, that is
Can
red.
you see that?
Oh, that's red.
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap
on 710 ESPN.
Don't forget you can hear every moment of Rams football in crystal clear digital audio on the all-new ESPN LA app. Just tap that Rams game day tile, and bam, you got it in the palm of your hand. You're listening to the Rams postgame show, live from Hollywood Park Casino on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Mostly green lefts and a scattered crowd here at SoFi, a game that's been decided for some time. One more knee will do it. The Eagles have won 8 of their last 9 matchups head-to-head against the Rams. Final knee, final score. 37-20, Eagles beat the Rams here at SoFi Stadium on Sunday Night Football.
We're taking your reaction. Join the conversation. 877-710-ESPN, Hollywood Park Casino, Park Party and Play. Once again, back to Travis and Kirk.
Last couple of prime timers, Kirk. Monday night against the Dolphins and tonight against the Philadelphia
Has
Eagles.
not been good.
Has been rough.
Has not been good for the Rams.
You and I were talking a little during the break, and you kind of pointed out the differences between the two things. The Miami loss on Monday a couple of weeks ago, and then the loss tonight against the Philadelphia Eagles. You said that this is one that you would have an easier time turning the page on than the one against Miami.
Correct. The one against Miami, you lost that game, but I never felt they were out of it, and you just felt that the Rams were a better team. They lost the game because of their own mistakes. They didn't handle, situational football great, and they lost the game. And you said, "Oh man, this is a hard one because we should have won this game because we are better than that team." Today, a little bit different. Like, you lose that game against Philadelphia today, and I look across, if I'm Sean McVey, and I said, you know what? That's just a better football team. That's a better football team across the board. We're trying to get to where they are. Their offensive line is intact. They got the receivers there. They were down one receiver, and yet they were still able to make the plays that were needed. That defense was hungry, and even their older veterans made some plays today. I'm able to get over that one because I'm saying, you know what? That team is going to be at the top of the NFC. That team may be home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We're not there yet. Now we're going to be underdogs. We got to be spoilers. We're going to do this on the road. We aspire to be that team that was across from us today. So that's why I would say I would move on a little bit easier maybe the Detroit. I mean the Miami loss.
Only thing I'd want to add to that is
Sure.
the Eagles might have the MVP of the league on their team.
Correct.
And it's they may be the number one seed. We'll see. They're a game behind Philadelphia or behind Detroit right now. But all of those things you mentioned, they have playmakers on both sides of the ball. They have a quarterback that's experienced and kind of a dual threat in what he can do. And oh, by the way, you may have the most valuable player of the entire league.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, career high 255 yards tonight, including a pair of 70-plus yard touchdown runs.
I just found out that was a Philadelphia Eagles single game record.
Well, yeah.
Think about how long the Philadelphia Eagles been around, and Saquon Barkley been here for 15 minutes? Saquon Barkley been here? He been there for 15 minutes, and he's already the all-time leading single game rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles. The dude is special. That's why people are going to pay a premium for outstanding performances and backs like that.
Special.
If Saquon Barkley was a free agent next year, how many people will be lined up to have that?
Yeah.
Because I don't have that.
No,
I want that.
The New York Giants might be lined up to try that as well. You know what the highlight of the night was?
I know.
Some more of your
I know he's not a free agent. I'm saying if he was a free agent, everybody be backing up for him, right?
You know what the highlight of the night was?
Was that?
The World Series trophy with Anthony Banda and Kiermaier and Joe Kelly. They were the Dodgers in the house seemed to be having a pretty good time.
Yeah.
So at least we got a little Dodger World Series trophy going on in the house tonight. Let's try our next phone call here. Let's go to Walnut and Mark. Mark, you're on the postgame show with Travis and Kirk. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, hi, guys. It just seems like the Rams' philosophy is just too, I don't want to say gimmicky, but they rely on schemes too much. I know this sounds like they don't have enough playmakers. On defense, to me, on that whole team, they have one playmaker, and that's Verse. I could be wrong, but Matt Stafford, the guy can't, he throws a great ball. Every once in a while, he'll throw the perfect pass. But he cannot make a play when it counts on off chart. Do you know what I'm saying? And it just seems like they're just out physical by better teams.
Kirk, what do you make of that?
Mark, I hear you, but you have to understand that's just who they are. The Rams are not a big-time physical team. They want to be physical at times, but they're not the Ravens. They're not the Steelers. That's not their brand of football. Their brand of football seems more finesse at times, more of throwing the ball around, spread you out. And that's why I thought that today was going to be a game, and I'm hoping that the Rams could get up early to force Philadelphia to come play the Rams style of play. If the game was going to be the way I saw it playing out for Philadelphia, that's not a recipe for success for the Rams. They are not a physical team that is going to line you up. Case in point, if it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, we know what the Eagles are going to do.
Yep.
They're going to get up there, and they're going to run the brotherly shove, tush push. The Rams had a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1 today. What'd they do?
They threw a 30-yard pass.
They threw a play-action pass to Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
That tells you they're not a physical football team. They do things differently. I can't say it doesn't work because it's won a Super Bowl. They've had success with it. I just said that you always talk about it, you and DeMarco, right? Styles make fights.
Yep.
Today's game was about styles. If your style was going to be working, you're going to have some success. But if they played their style, that's not a fight the Rams are going to win, and you saw it over and over. He mentioned the defense. The defense is not built to stop the run for how many times did they run the ball today, Travis? I got to get the number all together. Hold on. Let me find it real quick. Today, carries-wise.
That's 38, 40, 45 times.
What did we talk about in the pregame show? How many carries did we say?
45.
45.
Yeah.
They ran the ball 40, 45 times. Rams, they can't do that. They can't hold up. You can hold up when you get it 20 times ran on you, this Rams defense. But you run it 45 times, what they say, you keep hitting the dam, and at one point it's going to break.
Yep.
And it broke
and
twice.
That's exactly right. The Rams' opening drive, they're moving the ball. To the caller's point about the scheme, yet when the scheme's working, you are going to move the ball. But
Correct.
if something goes wrong, in this case a Kyren Williams fumble, and now all of a sudden you're chasing. This is not a team that's going to be great chasing down a team as good as the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think anybody's going to be good trying to play this team when they've got a comfortable lead like that, because you don't have explosive plays. You're not going to have a bunch of big pop plays that are going to happen. You're going to have to kind of go toe-to-toe. You're going to have to win on points if we're going to extend the boxing analogy a little bit further. You're not going to knock guys out, and they got some guys on the other side that can knock you out. And that's the difference in what you're looking at right now. I don't think it's a matter of, he can't make plays when it counts. That's just crazy. Do we not remember a no-look pass in the Super Bowl? I felt like that was a pretty good play. We've seen a whole bunch of good plays, but I do think that schematic, the style, however you want to put it, that this is one of these things that it kind of builds on itself, and once it backs up, it's really hard to get the thing going again.
Well, it is a little more difficult when you know that he's going to pass.
Yeah.
When the Rams only have 16 rushes today by Kyren Williams, and he was the only rusher of the game for the Rams outside of one carry for Blake Corum. The Rams are not dedicated to the run game like maybe some other teams or maybe like Philadelphia is. So if you're going to be one-dimensional, yes, it's going to be difficult sometimes for Matthew Stafford. As a defense, you saw Darius Slay, Gardner Johnson, Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell. They were playing tight, sticky coverage all game long, man-to-man, because they didn't respect with the guys who they drafted up front, right? Very similar to the Rams. They've drafted this young defensive front, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. They didn't respect the Rams' run game. They didn't. You can tell they didn't respect it because they were putting less than 7 guys in the box. That tells me, we want you to run.
We talked about it in the pregame show with JB about when Kyren Williams came back in Week 12 last year against Arizona, that Rams running game, that downhill running game that they were able to kind of lean on through the last part of the season really was the identity of that team last year.
Correct.
It hasn't happened. And then there's the whole issue of Kyren Williams fumbling the football. He fumbled it twice again today. And one of them was a drive killer on the first drive of the game because they were moving the ball. That felt like that. We've seen enough Rams football, enough Sean McVay football to know that felt like a drive that ends in points.
3 at minimum.
At minimum, and that felt
3.
like a touchdown drive that was getting ready to go. Instead, they give the ball away, and the Eagles go down. And I thought the Rams defense did a pretty good job to hold them to 3 along the way. And they fumbled again. Now they didn't lose it. Avila got on the ball, but that's 2 more fumbles. I want to go. I think that's 4 in the last 5 games. 5 in the last 5 games.
5 fumbles in the last 7 games for him.
That's simply not acceptable.
He had 3 all of last year.
That's too many.
That's way too many.
That's too
2
many.
is too many.
2 is too many. and you just mentioned it, that Blake Corum had 1 carry tonight. And I get that Blake Corum is a rookie and that Kyren Williams has had success in this offense. But at some point, you got to hold on to the ball.
You got to hold on to the ball. You're going to be sitting next to me. And that has to be said by the head coach. Because to me, you have to hold guys to a standard. To me, Kyren Williams, as good as he is, I know some coaches, he's going to be on this. He's in my doghouse. And it's okay to say that because his performance is putting him in the doghouse. He's a great player.
It's not personal.
It's nothing personal, but if you're putting us in bad situations, you're putting our defense out there, you got to come sit next to me till you figure this thing out. I remember Tiki Barber, great running back for the New York Giants. They wouldn't let him go back out on the field till he fixed it. And that's why he had to change how he held the football. And he didn't fumble for the rest of his career. That's where Kyren Williams has to look at it. He has to figure the things out. Look, a fumble here and there, it happens. I saw Derrick Henry fumble last week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I know it can happen, but it's happening way too much, at least once a game for Kyren Williams.
Twice tonight, and that's twice, like you said, 2 times too many. We will hear from the head coach, Sean McVay, when we come back on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Gear up and get out to Kelsey's at Pechanga, the top spot in the Temecula Valley to watch all the Monday Night Football action. Dozens of TVs means all your favorite games, plus a M&F food menu fit for the greatest fans. Sliders, loaded tater tots, pulled pork pizza, and a lot more. Plus, you'll find beers on tap and incredible craft cocktails at Kelsey's. Visit Pechanga.com and follow at Pechanga Casino on Instagram for info about special and exclusive NFL team appearances. We'll see you at Kelsey's at Pechanga.
The Black Friday sales event is going on now at Kia of downtown Los Angeles. Come in now or all month long and take advantage. They are offering 0% APR for 48 months on select Kia Sorento models for well-qualified buyers through Kia Finance America. Check out their other great lease or purchase deals on all other Kia models. New cars are arriving daily. They have a massive selection of traditional gas vehicles and, of course, all their popular hybrid and electric models. Stop in and ask for the general manager, Keon, and get your new Kia at Kia of downtown Los Angeles. It's the Black Friday sales event just south of Crypto Arena on Figueroa Street, or visit KiaofDTLA.com.
710 ESPN, the destination for LA sports this fall.
Here comes LeBron and slam dunk right in Paul George's face and a foul.
Lakers basketball.
Got it back. Another three. Good. What a night for Austin Reeves.
Rams football.
Cup of the 6. Cup to the pylon. Touchdown, Cooper Cup. Touchdown, LA.
The USC Trojans.
Hands off the marks. Up the middle. Into the end zone. Touchdown. They're going wild in half of this stadium as the Trojans are going to pull off the upset. How do you do?
LAFC.
Oh, flip for LA Football Club. Did he?
The LA Kings and Angels baseball.
The all-new ESPN LA app, your destination for LA sports.
Don't forget you can hear every moment of Rams football in crystal clear digital audio on the all-new ESPN LA app. Just tap that Rams game day tile, and bam, you got it in the palm of your hand. And this is the Rams postgame show, live from Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino, Park Party and Play. Travis Rodgers, Kirk Morrison react to tonight's Sunday night game. The fearsome Rams defense wasn't too fearsome tonight against this guy.
Right side run, Saquon Barkley clean through the line, steps through a tackle, midfield outside the numbers, right, 30, 20, 10, house call on the first play of the third quarter. 70 yards at SoFi Stadium for Saquon Barkley. And if an MVP is going to come from that position, why not Barkley?
Rams slip below 500. They're 5-6. They lose tonight to the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Once again, back to Hollywood Park Casino and back to Travis and Kirk.
That 70-yarder wasn't even his longest touchdown run of the night. He added a 72-yarder late in the fourth quarter. The final score, 37-20, all Eagles tonight.
Oh, man. The Eagles are flooding Hollywood Park.
Yeah,
they're flooding Hollywood Park Casino right now.
There's a lot of them here.
There's a lot of birds.
A lot of green. There's a lot of birds. There's a lot of green.
A lot of birds. They having fun, though.
On. 37-20 the final, and it wasn't that close. The Rams scored kind of a garbage time touchdown. Does the NFL have garbage time? Is that what we're calling that? I know that's an NBA
That
thing.
is garbage time, yeah.
Okay.
For all those Dak Prescott fantasy owners, I'll tell you what garbage time is.
Okay.
That one and Derek Carr.
Okay.
That's why I drafted some of those quarterbacks, because whether you're up or down, they're going to always get you yards.
Sometimes they'll get you that late cover, too, Kirk. If you're into that kind of stuff, too, they get that little backdoor cover along the way. No such luck for the Rams tonight. And their head coach, Sean McVey, who spoke with J.B. Long and Maurice Jones-Drew after the game.
Rams fall tonight at SoFi Stadium, 37-20 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Sean McVay, head coach, is joining us now. Sean, anything that you can spin this positive and forward?
You know, I like the way that we came out, JB. I really did. And, obviously the turnover really hurt us. And then the explosive plays that they had in the run game, it was just too much for us to, be able to overcome. But this team does know how to respond. They're a resilient group. There's humbling nights in football, and it's all about how you respond, and that's what we're going to do, and that's where our focus and concentration will be.
Coach, the defensive line early in this game took over that Philadelphia front. Are there some of the things you saw from them that really, I guess, had you excited about going the second half of this game?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job. I mean, there was a lot of reasons for us to believe that we could, get back in it. And, I mean, it was a one-possession game at halftime. They score quickly on the explosive, and then we go back and match it. And we were just never able to make enough plays to be able to really capitalize on playing team football. And we'll learn from it. We'll move forward.
Now get some rest, Sean. We look forward to seeing you in New Orleans.
Thanks, guys.
That sounds a lot like what you said, Kirk. That's one of those, we got smacked around, and, we'll go back to work, but that's not one to spend too much time trying to unpack exactly what it was. You got beat by a team that played a lot better than you did tonight.
It was a bad sequence. He just mentioned it, and that's, if I'm a coach, that's what I would say. I would come into the meeting tomorrow, and I would say, hey, fellas, just want to let you guys know, I know you had 24 hours to think about it, or you had, the night to dwell on how it happened or whatever. I'm just going to say this. We go into halftime, it's 13-7. It is 13-7 at halftime. We're going to make our adjustments. We're ready to go in the second half. First play of the second half, boom, Saquon Barkley goes down on a 70-yard run. We're like, oh, man, now we're down 20-7. But we responded.
Yeah.
And we responded with a touchdown. And then it's now 20-14. We're in a one-score game. And then the floodgates opened up. Kenneth Gainwell got going. Obviously, they kicked the field goal with Jake Elliott, and they just kept running the ball, and finally the dam broke. And then that's where you got the Saquon Barkley 72-yard run, and that's what blew the game wide open. Now it's what was once 20-14 turned into 37-14.
Yeah,
and that game was over.
And it happened fast. And a couple of things I want to get into. And listening to Sean McVey talk about how thought we played well in the first half, thought you responded well, and I agree with those things. But then he talked about they had the explosive. The margins for the Rams are very, very narrow.
Yes.
Everything has to work out according to plan if they're going to hold serve. That once the margin is cracked a little wider, they're going to really struggle to do that on both sides of the ball. It's not just an offensive thing where you don't have a Saquon Barkley on your team. I don't know if you have an A.J. Brown on this team. You got some good players, but I don't know if you have something like that. Jared Verse can make some explosive plays along the way, but this isn't a team that's going to have a million takeaways. This is something that you have to kind of stay on schedule, especially when you're playing a team like Philadelphia. The margins just aren't there, and I go back to some previous years watching Sean McVay's team, watching the two Super Bowl teams that they had, there were margins. They had Todd Gurley. They had explosive play. They had some guys that could do some things that felt like, oh, okay, even if we're chasing it a little bit, we're going to pop one or two ourselves and get right back in this. This team has really struggled to throw those big plays like that.
Yeah, they don't have consistent explosive plays. They don't have an explosive player. Think about it. Cooper Kupp is no longer that explosive player that at one point can take it, 50, 60 yards. It has to be one that's kind of dialed up, and Matthew Stafford makes a right read. But they don't have that special type of player. We had a lot of fans coming up here at Hollywood Park, and they're saying, well, we got Saquon. I said, I get it, but Saquon Barkley's don't grow on trees.
No.
Right? I mean, Deebo Samuel.
They're hard to find.
Yeah, he's a player like that. I think Detroit's got a player of that capability. Obviously, the Patrick Mahomes is that guy over in Kansas City, like guys who can create when there's nothing there. The Rams don't necessarily have that. They are very much a scheme type offense. They're a scheme type of skill position players that you got to get them open. You got to throw them to them. They're going to make the play, but they don't make the play without making them, if that makes sense.
Yes.
There are some dudes like, for instance.
Nobody's just going to do something. Something has to be designed.
It's, for instance, like for Laker fans, right? There are some players on the Lakers that you say, I got to draw him up a play.
Yeah.
And there's other times it's like, throw the ball to LeBron, go do you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just give me a bucket. They don't have a guy that can just get you a bucket when you need a bucket.
And especially on the defensive side, to kind of go to that for a second, it feels like when they are chasing and you can't just pin your ears and go get the quarterback, they really struggle. When the other team can do kind of both things that they want to do. They want to run the ball. They want to throw the ball. That defense feels far more vulnerable than when Verse and Fisk and Young and those guys can really just go get the quarterback. They just simply don't have the ability to play that run the way you saw it today with Barkley. 255 yards on the ground.
That's a lot of yards.
It was just one play after the next. They had no answer for that guy. And Gainwell had a couple of big ones as well, including a touchdown. So tough day for the Rams on that side of the ball as well. More of your phone calls, 877-710-ESPN. Plus, we want to talk about those struggles on third down. Rams did not convert on a single third down all night long. It's coming up on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Hey, Rams fans, we've teamed up with Bloom Ranch to ensure we have the healthiest fans in the league. That's why we're committed to delivering some of the freshest fruits and veggies to your door. And here's the best part. The first 100 boxes are on us. That's right. We're giving away the first 100 boxes. After that, enjoy 30% off on your first box upon signing up at www.bloomranchofacton.com and enter promo code ThankYouRams. There are no fans like Rams fans. Winning and getting healthier together is the real flex. So hurry, this offer won't last forever. Follow Bloom Ranch on IG and share how you're getting healthier using hashtag BloomRamFit.
When it comes to unique experiences, pick TickPick. You're picking the official fan experience partner of the Los Angeles Rams with no hidden fees ever. So pick TickPick for your chance to enjoy an all-exclusive experience at the TRD Pro Club at SoFi Stadium. A chance to experience the national anthem on the field or the opportunity to spend time with friends and family on the field pregame. You even have a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Rams-Eagles game November 24th. Don't let fees get between you and a great game day. Download the TickPick app and enjoy the best experiences supporting your Los Angeles Rams.
Rams fans, welcome to another game day at the Gridiron. After seeing your beautiful automobiles at the tailgate, we're calling an audible so you can save on gas. That's right, Rams fans score big on game days. Save 35 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. That's a touchdown for the tailgate. Download the Shell app, join the Fuel Rewards program today, and fill up with the official fuel of the Los Angeles Rams. Restrictions apply. Limited time at participating Shell stations. For more details, visit fuelrewards.com/Rams.
Los Angeles, your Rams will be back home on Sunday, December 8th as they take on the Buffalo Bills. All eyes will be on the Rams as Matthew Stafford will go head-to-head against Josh Allen and the Bills. The stage is set for an electric AFC-NFC matchup you don't want to miss. Grab your tickets today at therams.com/BUF. Again, that is therams.com/BUF to watch your Los Angeles Rams face off against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, December 8th at SoFi Stadium. See you at the Rams house.
Hey, it's me, your heart valve. The blood flowing thing in your heart. Ooh, hear that? The whole stadium's cheering for heart valve screenings? Detecting heart valve disease is super important, especially if you're over 65. It's deadly if you don't treat it. That's right. Boo! Heart valve disease! Boo! Good news is, early detection saves lives. Go to listentoyourvalves.com and get screened for heart valve disease. Oh, and go Rams!
Don't forget you can hear every moment of Rams football in crystal clear digital audio on the all-new ESPN LA app. Just tap that Rams game day tile, and bam, you got it in the palm of your hand. You're listening to the Rams postgame show, live from Hollywood Park Casino on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Mostly green, lefts, and a scattered crowd here at SoFi, a game that's been decided for some time. One more knee will do it. The Eagles have won 8 of their last 9 matchups head-to-head against the Rams. Final knee, final score. 37-20, Eagles beat the Rams here at SoFi Stadium on Sunday Night Football.
We're taking your reaction. Join the conversation. 877-710-ESPN, Hollywood Park Casino, Park Party, and Play. Once again, back to Travis and Kirk.
7-20, the final score from SoFi Stadium. Just 3 home games left here for the Rams. You've got Buffalo coming up in a couple of weeks, and then 2 division games to end the season in weeks 17 and 18 against Seattle and Arizona. Kirk Morrison, Travis Rodgers here at Hollywood Park Casino for the Rams postgame show. And Kirk, you have a question from the crowd.
I'm here with Allison. She's a Eagles fan. She had a question about her Eagles. I told her I answered all questions today. So go ahead, Allison, ask your question.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what made the Eagles so much better this year than last year, do you think?
Okay, so what made the Eagles better this year than last year? So I do want to take Eagles fans back to this time a year ago. Last year at this time, the Eagles were 10-1.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say 11-0 or 10-1.
They were 10-1. They lost 5 of their next 6 games. They were a bad team down the stretch, but that was last year.
And this year?
And this year,
we're looking good.
Because they have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Thank you, Saquon. I love you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Allison. That is great because that's what it's really all about. Like, Saquon Barkley is the equalizer. He is something that they didn't have last year. When things went wrong last year, they were pointing fingers. It was the head coach. It was, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It was defensive coordinator. Remember, it was like Matt Patricia and Sean Desai. They were going back and forth. Saquon Barkley, outside of the first couple weeks of the season when they were figuring out how to use Saquon Barkley, they've won 7 games in a row now, and I think it's because they all seem to be on the same page, and it's like they're enjoying seeing other success. You know, sometimes you have a lot of guys who are on a team, and it's like, I need to get mine. You know what I mean? And think about Saquon Barkley's having this amazing season, and yet how many times has he gotten the ball to the 1-yard line? He's like, all right, I got to go off the field because we know what's coming up next.
Yep,
It's
the tush push.
It's the tush push. But you can see, to me, the fun and the embrace that they all have after the game, seeing Saquon and Jalen Hurts and those guys talk about each other. That, to me, looks very genuine, and that they're all pulling in the same direction because they remember what last year felt like. I totally get a different vibe from the Philadelphia Eagles this year.
This is, and I want to bring this back to the Rams, but I think it's exactly what you're talking about with the Eagles. The Eagles were in complete free fall at the end of last season.
Yes.
They nearly fired Nick Sirianni in the offseason.
Right.
They got off to a bad start this year, and it's like, when are they going to fire him? They've won 7 games in a row, and they look like the best team in the league.
They do.
That's how quickly things can turn. That's how quickly things can go for the better or for the worse. Like, this was a team that felt like they were teetering on the, we're going to have to fire him. You're going to have to start over. It's Jalen Hurts. And now you got the MVP, and potentially, at least in the backfield, you have a number 1 seed on the table for you. You're going to have a home game to start the playoffs, almost guaranteed. That all of these things are starting to stack up in a way. And I think for the Rams, now, do they have this sort of roster? No.
Right.
But they do have the ability to turn this thing around. This isn't like it's Christmas. It's Thanksgiving. There are 6 games left on the schedule. Now, it does feel, and Kirk, you tell me if you agree with this or not.
Yes.
This does feel like this could be you're back to 6-6. You're back to 6-7 after Buffalo.
Oh,
hey, you got the
7-7.
Jets. You're at 7-7. Like, it feels like this ping pong back and forth. They're going to have to find a way to beat somebody that maybe, at least on paper, doesn't look like they should beat.
It kind of feels like they may have a successful season and finish over 500, but yet it's an accomplishment on paper that doesn't have a lot of substance. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, perfect, you did it. Congratulations. But at any point do I feel like you are a true contender?
Not yet. It hasn't felt like it yet.
I don't feel like they're a contender at all. But, good. Thank you for
That's
coming.
Your friend Allison, Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, Eagles fans are fired up, and I get it. I mean, you travel all this way, and it goes back to another point, too, is that they won this game on the road. They came on the road and played this well. So I can only imagine if they do get home field advantage, maybe the Rams may have to go and play them. Like, who knows? Like,
something weird's going to happen.
That's a crazy thing to say, but
it's hard to imagine that happening right now, quite frankly. They did not look like a very good football team tonight. Now, the Eagles,
I'm saying the Rams could be a wild card, a 7 seed.
Yep.
And if the Eagles, are the 2 seed.
Yep, there you go again.
Rams got to go.
And we've seen crazier stuff before. They're going to play a lot better than they did tonight. 0 for 8 on third down. 2 for 4 in the red zone. These are familiar issues that we've seen with the – and I said to you at one point, I think it was in the second quarter, that they'd done a pretty good job of not putting themselves in weird down and distances, and then all of a sudden they started finding themselves completely incapable of converting on third down. And that just seemed to be kind of the beginning of the end, where that rhythm that they had started off with the first 2 possessions, the first one with Kyron Williams ended poorly because of the fumble. The next one ended in a touchdown. They were really moving and on schedule, and then it just stopped after that.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like, there's a flow to it. The way the game even started with Puka Nacua getting involved, and then Cooper Kupp, and then it came all the way down. Obviously, the fumble by Kyron Williams, and then I think I'll extend it a little bit more. Was that, Sean McVey and his offense. And look, I said I hate to criticize because I'm not a head coach, but I always feel like there's a pulse of a time and a moment of a game that I want to see something, at least try. The Rams had gotten a red zone. I said, here they go. 3 consecutive runs.
Guess what they did?
3 consecutive pass plays, I bet.
3 consecutive passes. Now, they got a pass interference on one of them that led to a touchdown.
Yes.
But, and I think that's one of the criticisms that you and I hear. We'll take some more of these phone calls coming up here in just a little bit, that I think is valid. I think it's fair that it's become predictable to a
yes,
point.
Predictable. That's a great point.
That you know what it's going to be before. Now, it doesn't mean it won't work.
Right.
It doesn't mean that if you don't execute the play well, the guy's not going to be open and you're going to be able to hit it. You do have Matthew Stafford and Kapapuka, but when was the last thing you went, whoa?
What was that?
I didn't see that one coming. That's been a minute for this team, especially on that side of the ball. More of your calls coming up, plus we'll continue to hear from some more of the Rams players as well. 877-710-3776. It's all coming up on the Rams postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Thank you for listening to Rams Eagles tonight, Sunday Night Football, Week 12, as the Rams drop this one to the Eagles.
Rams football is presented by Call Jacob. A lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. Call Jacob and he will win for you. Call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB or visit calljacob.com.
Up next, it's a Thanksgiving weekend trip to the Bayou. Rams will battle the New Orleans Saints 1 week from today for Week 13 NFL Sunday. Coverage begins at 12 noon with the Rams countdown to kickoff. Kickoff from the Caesars Superdome at 1:05 p.m. Rams Saints next Sunday on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs. Woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in the Hyundai Santa Fe with 1.99% APR for 72 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end December 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Touchdown. Score big savings with the Albertsons or Vons for You app. It's like having a personal quarterback calling the plays on your wallet. Shop smart, save more. Every time you shop, simply enter your number at checkout and watch the savings add up. Earn points for cash off on gas or groceries. Plus get weekly personalized deals to save even more. It's a winning combination. Download the Albertsons or Vons for You app for free today and start scoring touchdowns on your grocery bill. Full program details available on the app or at Vons or Albertsons.com.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland back Monday at 1 after Travis and DeMarco.
What perception that I
You're
put
crossing
myself.
over from producer
over.
to talent.
Yeah, but I mean, Brian, Laura, we're all talent at this place.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody is.
But
Everybody's
he is leading a show. And I'm like, I am okay with that.
I'm leading this show. This is my show.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN. Travis Rodgers and DeMarco Farr.
Monday morning at 9 a.m. after Greeny.
I used to love unbudgeted money, like the Pro Bowl. When you make the Pro Bowl, it's unbudgeted money. It's free money. That's how you go buy stupid stuff. Crossbows and, all that stuff. Crossbows? Oh, absolutely. Crossbows. What else? Golf clubs. See?
Okay, golf clubs.
See?
Sure. Crossbow is not on my list.
Or you spend
you
spend the entire $500,000 at Pebble. See, that's unbudgeted money.
Even at Pebble, you got to go strong to the hoop to spend $500,000.
But that's what I'm saying.
Is
See, that's what this is about.
$500,000?
No. I mean, multiple crossbows. Crossbows for the entire family.
For your friends,
right?
so you can go in the woods and have a good time.
And you can't have a crossbow without an ATV.
Emily, let me just say that. Let's say tomorrow you won the lottery. You won $250,000.
Okay, great.
How many crossbows are you buying?
None.
None? Oh, see?
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco.
On 710 ESPN. The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays after Mason and Ireland.
You're a big mother bleeper, but you too. Tú algunas veces. Te tengo que dar papao. That's a Cuban accent. I don't even know what he said.
I don't know what he said either.
I'll tell you what he said. He said, "Tu agua para usted." Enough. You either act like civil people or I'm burning this bleep down.
Sedano and Cap back Monday at 3 p.m.
On 710 ESPN.
And it is a final. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Rams tonight. Sunday Night Football at SoFi is in the books.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. React to today's game.
And a tough way for the Rams' chances to end tonight in the fourth quarter.
Third down, 19 now. 2 snaps to get 19 yards from the Eagles' 41. Stafford, top of his drop, pressure in his face, hit, fumbled, still down. Rams recover way back in LA territory at the 45. And this game is down to its last play.
Rams back below 500. They're 5-6. Eagles move to 9-2. We'll react right now on the Rams postgame show. Live from Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino. Park Party and Play. Travis Rodgers, Kirk Morrison. We'll react on the game. All the postgame commentary and sound and your calls. 877-710-ESPN. Let's do it. The Rams postgame show on this Sunday night right now.
Hi, this is Sean McVey of your LA Rams. The Rams play here.
Now inside the lobby at Hollywood Park Casino with Kirk Morrison. Here is Travis Rodgers.
37-20, the final score. All Eagles at SoFi Stadium tonight. The Rams looking to bounce back next week against the New Orleans Saints. That one starts just at 1 o'clock. Kirk and I will have the pregame show for you starting at 11. And Kirk, listening to one of the promos there during the break, our pal DeMarco Farr, Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr, who he and his teammates had a nice moment at halftime celebrating the 25th anniversary of their Super Bowl championship.
Sure did.
You played 9 years in the NFL, correct?
Correct.
How many crossbows did you have in that time?
No crossbows. No weapons. I stayed weapon clear.
Yeah, you didn't go on a crossbow bender at some point in your career?
No. I never went on a crossbow. I never went hunting. That was just not my thing. I think that was about it. No, I wasn't.
I'm not going to lie, my friend. You kind of let me down. I was hoping that you would have been
crossbow
a crossbow
hunting?
guy.
No.
Yeah, no.
I wasn't wasting my money on a crossbow.
You know where you can get meat?
Where?
Grocery store.
Yeah,
they
go grocery store.
They got
now, I did have some friends of mine who were raised by cattle farms.
Okay.
And they were saying if you ever want to go, you can go pick out your meat. Like, go pick out.
Closest I want to get to that is when you go to one of those fancy steak places and they bring it out on the plate and they say you want this one or that one.
No, you can actually go pick the cow you want.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh,
with that
I like
sure.
that one over there.
He's looking frisky, looking like he's nice and lean.
That's a burger right there.
877-710-3776. Let's try another phone call here. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin, you're on the Rams postgame show with Travis and Kirk. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Travis and Kirk. And first off, I want to say prayers up to John Robinson on his passing. Great coach, great history with the Rams. Two, I will say we don't have a home field advantage. I'm so sick of seeing these other teams coming into our house and just overpopulating our Ram fans. I've been a Ram fan for 52 years, and man, I tell you, it's just so disheartening to see that. But we have to win championships to build this fan base. To break down the game tonight, you guys hit the nail on the head. Basically, we just don't have the talent to play with these upper echelon teams right now. The offensive line, for starters, the offensive tackles played horrible. We got to get better at the offensive tackle position on both sides. Havenstein, he needs to get healthy. This guy is always hurt. You do me no good in the tub. You need to be on the field. Note Boone's another player. They signed him, signed his contract. He's got a big contract. And then Jonah Jackson. But this offensive line has been in disarray since the preseason with the injuries, then the mixing and matching, putting guys in the different positions. Bo Limmer, a rookie, is holding his own, but this is his first year. So these guys are growing. They're growing. They're going to get better, but we still have to get the players to maintain the level to compete week in and week out. We can win this division. After the games I've watched today with the other teams playing, the Rams can win the division. They'll get right, just like you guys mentioned. Put this game aside, get ready for next week. But they do have a chance to win the division. And Kyron Williams.
Kevin, I'm going to jump in there real quick, Kevin. I appreciate the phone call. I think you bring up some good points. I want to make sure we get to them. Rob Havenstein has been remarkably durable during his career.
Correct.
This is a bad stretch for him where he's been hurt. But I think the point is a good one in that, look, he's been in the league a long time.
Yes.
You're going to have a new right tackle sooner than later.
Right.
He is not, he's a St. Louis Ram. That's how long that Rob Havenstein has been with this organization. I think that Steve Avila has, quite frankly, I think he's regressed a little bit this season. I do not think he looks as good this year as he did a year ago. And you got to, I think the entire offensive line is really something to look at. It needs to be better. And you've tried to, Alark Jackson is an undrafted player. Avila, a second-round pick. Bo Limmer, a seventh-round pick. Kevin Dotson, a pick of another team that you've brought to your squad.
Right.
This is not a team that's loaded up with first, second, third-round players. This is something that you're going to have to address at some point. I also like what Kevin said about this, that they can win the division. They can. But, again, two things can be true at the same time. I think they can win the division because the division's not very good.
Correct.
Which means they're not very good. You know, can they get to the top of it? Absolutely. And that's really all that matters. Once you're in the playoffs, then it's just you just got to play well once to move on to the next round. But I think he's right. No, Seattle's not going to run away and hide. Arizona's not going to run away and hide. Everybody's within a game of each other along the way, and you get to play all three teams. So there is a path, but boy, oh boy, are they going to have to play better than they did tonight.
Yeah, they'll play better. And I fully expect them to play better. This offensive line that he talked about, it will continue to get better. Bo Limmer is definitely holding his own. Steve Avila, remember, this is only his third game back from injury. Yep. Kevin Dotson. And the thing is, the Rams aren't using them like I want them to be used. I want to see them be some road graders and go out there and, run the football a little bit more. I want to see them go out and be more creative. It happens in this league. I understand it. I'm kind of confused, though, when I hear people talk about the Rams and their fan base. And I look around the NFL, and it's everywhere. Like, it's not just L.A. I think we get a bad rap because, just all the Rams fans that they're not showing up. People come to this destination.
Yeah.
Like this.
Especially this time of year.
So if you think it's going to be – if you think it's crazy today, I'm going to tell you this. I played in Buffalo. Do you think the people in Western New York want to be in Western New York at this time of year or go see their team play in California, in Los Angeles, against their Buffalo Bills? Maybe catch a Laker game, maybe catch a Clipper game, maybe go to UCLA, USC, maybe go see Juju Watkins.
Yeah.
I mean, a weekend in Los Angeles this weekend, trust me, it was worth the dime.
First of all, nobody goes to Clipper games. So let's not get crazy. I understand your point, but nobody really does that. So
they went to the Intuit Dome. No, they just want to go see the Intuit Dome.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not saying the Clipper game. Everybody want to go see the new venue. Let's just be honest, Travis, because it's a big weekend. I mean, tomorrow, look, you know me, I'm on a flight every week.
Yeah.
So I traveled from the East Coast this morning, and I saw a lot of purple jerseys. Their fans are coming from where I left was 40 degrees. Got to Los Angeles, and it's in the 60s.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans are going to be out here tomorrow as their Ravens play the Chargers. So, for me, I kind of get
it's LA.
I do get upset about that when I hear, Rams fans don't show up. I'm like,
the reality.
These other teams come here for luxury. We live here, so we don't understand it. People on the outside, when the schedules come out in May, oh, my God, we got a game. Wait, in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
In November?
Let's go.
That's my trip.
Yep.
That's my one trip of the year.
And, they need to win championship. They did.
They did.
And it doesn't happen.
Travis Rodgers and DeMarco Farr.
Monday morning at 9 a.m. after Greeny.
I did have an awkward meeting with Drew Brees.
Go.
And I've met him before, and it was weird.
When did this happen?
You know when they have the Monday night dais there, when all the talking heads. He was on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he pops off, and he goes, "What's up?" And I'm like, is he talking to me? I said, "What's up, Drew?" And he daps me up, but he was actually talking to the guy behind me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was one of those things, right?
So that's one of those things. If they don't use your name, you got to be like, "Are they talking to me?" Like if he said, "Yo, what's up, D-Far?" It's like, you're good. But if it's like, "Yo, what's up?" He's either looking somewhere else or he's like,
I know, Travis, he was looking right at me. Right at me, and I dapped him up. "Hey, good to see you." Like, I don't know why we're doing this. And then he's talking to the coach behind me. My bad. Yeah, good to see you. Cool, though.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN. Sedano and Cap.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. after Mason and Ireland.
Again, remember, super fancy restaurant. So I go in, and it's got one of those toilets, those fancy toilets, because it's a fancy place, where it opens up the lid for you.
Oh, wow.
Right? Well, here's the point of all of this. The name of the story is the hot toilet seat. I sit down right on it. I don't put toilet paper down. I don't put down. And when I sat down, gosh, this thing feels good. It's kind of warm. Wow, they've got like a heated toilet seat. The longer you sit on it,
you're sweating.
The hotter it gets. Today, I'll pull my pants down right now and show you guys. I have 4th-degree burns on both hamstrings and it's like a full-on red like
Now,
thing.
if I stand behind you,
Yeah.
so the camera doesn't, will you show me?
Here, switch.
It was
Just show me
then
a
it
little
got
bit.
a little hotter.
Show me.
Then it
Don't
got
turn
a little,
towards the camera.
Then it got a little
Let me
hotter.
just see a little bit.
Can you take a look? Can you see this?
That is
Can
red.
you see that?
Oh, that's
Right?
red.
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
This is the Rams postgame show, live from Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino, park, party, and play. Travis Rodgers, Kirk Morrison, react to tonight's Sunday night game. The fearsome Rams defense wasn't too fearsome tonight against this guy.
Right side run, Saquon Barkley clean for the line, steps through a tackle, midfield outside the numbers, right, 30, 20, 10, house call on the first play of the third quarter. 70 yards at SoFi Stadium for Saquon Barkley. And if an MVP is going to come from that position, why not Barkley?
Rams slip below 500. They're 5-6. They lose tonight to the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Once again, back to Hollywood Park Casino and back to Travis and Kirk.
All right, still one more game to go here in Week 12 of the NFL season. That, too, will be played at SoFi Stadium right across the street here. Monday Night Football, Ravens and Chargers, which brings us to the top games of the week. Kirk, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo Casino, good times. Are either the Ravens or Chargers a real threat to make noise in the playoffs? The Ravens have had moments where they've looked really good, but the fact of the matter is their defense isn't very good.
Right.
They're a little inconsistent offensively. And then the Chargers have looked really good under Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
We know that Justin Herbert is a dynamic player at times, but it's still kind of the Chargers. Do either one of those fill you with, like, hey, you know what? If I saw them in the AFC Championship game, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think with Baltimore, I wouldn't be surprised. They got to the conference championship game a year ago and completely changed its identity within that game. Like, what are you doing? You're built on running the ball. Why are you throwing it against Patrick Mahomes? They went out and got their running back in Derrick Henry, and to me, that was kind of their magic elixir. That's their identity. They'll get better as the season goes along. When they play one of their good games, you're like, okay, they're one of the best teams.
When
in
they
the
look
NFL.
good, they look really good.
One of the best. You're like, okay, who's beating this team?
Yeah.
And then they have one of those games where they kind of mess around a little bit. They flop around.
Well, you saw Joe Burrow just light him up a couple of Thursdays ago. I mean, he threw for nearly 500 yards.
Yeah, so that's the hard part, is that you do see those types of games and you lose a lot of faith in them. And I think on the other side, you mentioned the Chargers. The Chargers still have that Charger thing in them. And they wanted they
or did Harbaugh get rid of it?
They tried to give Cincinnati the game last week.
Yeah,
they were up 20-something to 6.
The difference is though,
take the game, take it.
And
Joe Burrow, it's like, no, I don't want it. You guys keep it. They're like, no, you take it. It's like, oh no, you know what? I'll keep it. And so finally, the Chargers end up winning. But how many opportunities did Cincinnati have to win that game? I think that they've changed it. They do have an identity. The Chargers are a team that I think is a playoff caliber team. I just need to see a lot more from them, and I think they're not to the elites of the AFC. They're not Baltimore, they're not Buffalo, and they're not Kansas City.
Let's throw these two games together. The Packers beat the Niners 38-10 in Lambeau Field, and the Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-10 along the way. Those two teams tied at the top of the NFC West. The Seahawks, by virtue of the tiebreaker head-to-head, they currently are your NFC West leaders, but this really does feel like we're going to go to Week 18 before we know who wins this division, isn't it?
Correct. It's just one of those seasons that, I liked your analogy earlier. It's kind of like a tennis match. It's just the Rams are going to hit one, and then they got to return it. They're going to hit one, and they got to. It's just going to go back and forth. And I think that's the way it is. The Rams have division
Rams
games
are 2-1 in the division. Yeah. I guess if you're looking for a silver lining, that's one of them.
Well, you hope they can go 2-1, if not 3-0 in the next 3 games in the division, and then win most of those games that'll be non-conference or not non-divisional games. To me, it's scary to think that how good Arizona looked the first time against the Rams. Now, I don't think the Rams are the same team that they were at the time that they played Arizona. But we'll see what it looks like when they come to here. Arizona, they're not like some of these Eagles fans and Buffalo Bills fans. It usually is more of a mild environment for the Rams, and they don't have to go to a silent count.
If you got to get to 10 wins to win the NFC West, that means the Rams need to go 5-1 over the course of their last 6 games.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a tough putt. That's a tough putt. Now, if it's a 9-win and by virtue of a tiebreaker and you win all 3 of your division games, you beat the Jets or you beat the New Orleans Saints, then you're in a pretty good spot there. But if it takes 10, you have 1 game to play with, and you've got the Buffalo Bills, the San Francisco 49ers, and 2 other division games on your schedule. That is asking a lot to get to the finish line at 10 wins.
Why are you doing that to me, man?
I'm just looking at the math, my friend.
I know you are, dude. Why you do that? Rams got 6 games left. If they go 4-2, which is pretty good.
That's 9.
They go 4-2, that's just get you 9.
That's 9 and 8. Yeah.
And I don't know if 9 gets you into the playoffs.
You got to hope for the right tiebreaker at that point.
Yeah.
And then, look, if you win all 3 of these the division games and you beat the Giants or not the Giants, the Jets. And okay, there you are. There's your 9 along the way. And you got to hope that everything, and because at that point you'd be 5-1 in the division, so you win the division, assuming no one else gets to 10. But that's a big assumption at this point. We're going to hear from the quarterback of the Rams, Matthew Stafford. That is coming up next on the Rams postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Hi, this is Sean McVey of your LA Rams. The Rams play here, KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
Next Gen is the official plumbing, heating, and AC company of SoCal sports fans. For just $14.99 a month, enjoy year-round coverage for all your plumbing, heating, and AC needs. No unexpected timeouts, just total peace of mind. As a Next Gen member, you get complimentary multi-point tune-ups, annual water heater flushes, plumbing safety inspections, and VIP 2-hour priority service. Don't miss out. Call 833-3-NEXGEN today or visit nextgenaaronplumbing.com.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
The best holiday plans come from the back seat.
I want a hot chocolate. I want to go sledding. Mom, play our holiday playlist. Yeah, play it.
Enjoy safe family trips this season. Sign and drive on select Volvo SUVs during the Holiday Safely sales event. Tap the banner to learn more.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland tomorrow at 1 after Travis and DeMarco.
What perception that I
You're
put
crossing
myself.
over from producer to talent.
Yeah, but I mean, Brian, Laura, we're all talent at this
Yeah,
place.
you're right.
Everybody is.
But
Everybody's
he is leading a show. And I'm like, I am
Wait a
okay with
minute,
that.
I'm leading this show. This is my show.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
You're listening to the Rams postgame show, live from Hollywood Park Casino on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Mostly green lefts and a scattered crowd here at SoFi, a game that's been decided for some time. One more knee will do it. The Eagles have won 8 of their last 9 matchups head-to-head against the Rams. Final knee, final score. 37-20, Eagles beat the Rams here at SoFi Stadium on Sunday Night Football.
We're taking your reaction. Join the conversation. 877-710-ESPN, Hollywood Park Casino, Park Party and Play. Once again, back to Travis and Kirk.
37-20, all Eagles at SoFi Stadium tonight. Up next, the New Orleans Saints kickoff coming up 1:05, 1 week from today. Kirk and I have the pregame show for you starting at 11 o'clock that morning. Matthew Stafford, statistically not a bad night at all. Got the ball in the end zone a couple of times, no interceptions along the way, and he spoke with the media after the game.
Matthew, how would you diagnose what their defensive line and some of their extra pressure, how would you diagnose what they were doing to you guys up front and what game plan they were utilizing?
I mean, they rushed forward the majority of the night. That's kind of what they do. Didn't do anything that we didn't expect. Just executed a little bit better than we did. Had to stay ahead of the chains a little bit better than we did. First couple drives were nice. We were moving the ball in the first one, had the unfortunate turnover. Second one went down and scored. One score game at halftime. Obviously had those 3 drives at the end of the first that ended as 3 and outs, which were not ideal, putting our defense out there, but they kept us in it. And then just didn't do enough in the second half to keep it close.
0 for 8 on third down. Why
Why has that continued to be an issue throughout the season?
Well, we didn't put ourselves in a lot of favorable ones today. So you don't do that, against that defense. It's going to be difficult. No doubt there are some that, we can convert on, look back on, but it takes, great execution by everybody to convert on third down. We just got to do a better job.
What do you think moving forward in the division? It still seems like it's wide open.
Yeah.
So how do you guys kind of approach that?
Yeah, you got to, obviously look at the tape of this one, figure out, where to go from there as far as, what you did wrong. How can we correct those things? Not going to let these guys beat us twice. This is the NFL. You play this game long enough, you're going to have unfortunate nights. You're going to have nights where you don't play as good as you possibly can. You don't ever want them to get out of hand like they did, but got to move on. Got to move on to the next one and give your full attention to the next team.
Coach McVey was praising Saquon Barkley ahead of the game. Obviously, we saw what he did. What was your impression of his night?
Played pretty good. Played against him when he was in New York. Younger, earlier in his career, was impressed by his ability and was again tonight.
You guys had that early turnover on that first drive.
Mm-hmm.
As a quarterback, how mentally, emotionally draining is that, or a missed field goal?
No, for me, it's got to be the next play. First drive of the game, there's a whole lot of football left to be played. No doubt you're playing a really good football team. You want to capitalize on every time you touch the football, try to go down there, at least, flip the field position, get points, score, all those things that you want to do on a drive. But this is football. It's not perfect. We got to pick each other up when we can. It was nice to get the ball on that second drive, go down there and score a touchdown. We battled in the second half, just weren't able to keep it close enough to give ourselves a chance there at the end.
A couple of the linemen were talking about quick wins, and Sean mentioned it too. The D-line kind of winning quick in some of their opportunities, and I guess we saw outlets and those types of things on that, especially when you guys were able to move the ball. But I guess what were you guys, if anything, trying to get to when they did start to get to you more frequently as the game continued?
Yeah, just try to mix it as much as we can. Try to hand the ball off, move the pocket, throw some, short, quicker game, quick game type stuff, mix a couple play actions in with some help on the edges. Tried to mix it as much as we possibly can, but at the end of the first half, we just weren't efficient on a first and second down there a few times and put ourselves in third and long against that group. It's going to be tough. I think the majority of the drives that stalled out for us, that was kind of the issue. We just got to do a really good job executing. They're going to make you earn it the whole way down the field, and the drives that we scored, we did that.
That is a very nice way of putting it, Kirk, that the Philadelphia Eagles had some quick wins up front on the defensive line. And that's one way to say it. The other way to say it is that Matthew Stafford, on several of his passing attempts, really had no chance at all, that there was an Eagle defender on him almost from the moment the ball was in his hands.
Yeah, they did a good job of using their hand swipes and, like I said, getting instant pressure on the quarterback. That's something that they saw on film that the Rams will have to get corrected, and he just never really had a chance to truly get comfortable. Some of his throws were off, some were on. It was inconsistent just because of the pressure. I thought he just never got settled.
It's an interesting season for him. I asked JB during the pregame show, the 2024 season for Matthew Stafford has been blank, and I think JB's line was good, not great.
Right.
And I think that's about right. And, if you read anything online, if you listen to any of the talking heads, that there's at least the chance that this is Matthew Stafford's last year here in Los Angeles, that, there's a lot of money that they owe him if they decide to want to go there. And the team is in kind of that middle zone right here where are you close to a title? Well, not tonight they weren't. They were a long way away from that. Now, that doesn't mean they can't get better. But do you really want to have $40, $50 million tied up in a quarterback for a team that's going to, battle like crazy just to make 500? There are some questions to be answered, and getting a chance to see him and listen to him and talk to him, he's still got one of the best arms. He's still one of the more experienced quarterbacks that you're going to run into. But this could be, at least potentially, heading into the last handful of games of Matthew Stafford in a Rams uniform.
Yeah, they could be drafting a quarterback in the first round. They have a first-round pick next year. They could be drafting a quarterback. And Sean McVey has never drafted a quarterback that he can develop.
No.
Not Stetson Bennett, people. No. We're talking about a real quarterback in the first round.
Did you see Carson Beck dropped in one of them? ESPN had a mock, and they had the Rams drafting Carson Beck, and I kind of went,
he better stay in school.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's got some opportunities in these bowl games and college football playoff that he can slide up the charts a little bit. But, watching Matthew Stafford play football has always been a treat. It's been fun. But we know at some point you have to have a succession plan. And Philadelphia Eagles didn't have – sorry, not Philadelphia. The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't have one, and it suffered for them for a couple years until they had to go and sign Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. So that's the part where even the Giants with Daniel Jones, that wasn't a great succession plan going from Eli Manning straight to Daniel Jones. Like they're in the same quarterback market right now. So
is there any chance for a resurrection for him, new change of scenery? We've seen it some other places.
Yeah.
He's really struggled in New York, but could he find, maybe I don't want to say like huge success, but could he be a starter somewhere else in this league?
I think he can, and because I look at what Sam Darnold's been able to do in Minnesota, and you say that, okay, so if Sam Darnold can do it, I definitely think Daniel Jones could do it. But it's all about finding the right situation, and I don't know if the Rams are the right situation for a guy like Daniel Jones if it came up. What I see Matthew Stafford do at the line of scrimmage, I don't think that he can do that. No.
We'll just say no to that particular scenario. We'll come back. We'll give you our final thoughts on the day. Take a look ahead to the game against the New Orleans Saints, headed to Nolens coming up next. It's on the Rams Postgame Show on 710 ESPN.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
I got Uggs. Me too.
Yeah.
But we can't rock them anymore.
I wear them all the time.
Do you really?
I mean, once it gets cold, they're boots, so they're kind of warm.
You wear them out in public, loud and proud.
Yeah, they're boots.
Uggs all of a sudden became like not cool for guys to wear.
Why?
I don't know. I thought Tom Brady brought them back. That's what I said.
It's Trav and D-Far.
Back Monday morning after Greeny on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
Escape to Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, a world-class desert oasis just minutes from Palm Springs. Enjoy live entertainment by the Black Crows, Sarah Brightman, Belle Biv DeVoe and Rev Run, Howie Mandel, Nurse Blake, The Temptations and the Four Tops and more. Book today at FantasySpringsResort.com.
710 ESPN, the destination for LA sports this fall.
Here comes LeBron end-to-end slam dunk right in Paul George's face and a foul.
Lakers basketball.
Got it back. Another three. Good. What a night for Austin Reeves.
Rams football.
Cup at a 6. Cup to the pylon. Touchdown, Cooper Kupp. Touchdown, LA.
The USC Trojans.
Hands off the marks. Up the middle. Into the end zone. Touchdown. They're going wild in half of this stadium as the Trojans are going to pull off the upset. How do you do?
LAFC.
Oh, flip for LA Football Club. Did he?
The LA Kings and Angels baseball.
The all-new ESPN LA app, your destination for LA sports.
Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. Covenant House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth, 50 years strong. Help us fight youth homelessness. Go to covenanthouse.org.
This is the Rams Postgame Show, live from Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino, Park Party and Play. Travis Rodgers, Kirk Morrison, react to tonight's Sunday night game. The fearsome Rams defense wasn't too fearsome tonight against this guy.
Right side run, Saquon Barkley clean for the line, steps through a tackle, midfield outside the numbers, right, 30, 20, 10, house call in the first play of the third quarter. 70 yards at SoFi Stadium for Saquon Barkley. And if an MVP is going to come from that position, why not Barkley?
Rams slip below 500. They're 5-6. They lose tonight to the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Once again, back to Hollywood Park Casino and back to Travis and Kirk.
You heard it right there, Kirk. The Rams fall back under 500. They are 5-6. They are headed to New Orleans, who is also under 500. They are at 4-7 through their first 11 games of the season. And, this phrase gets thrown around a lot. And, if you literally take it as anything other than literally, the game against the Saints on Sunday afternoon, a week from today, is a must-win game. There really isn't a path for them to run the table over the course of the last 5. At 5-7 with losses to teams like the Bears and to the New Orleans Saints in the conference, that's just not something that you're going to bounce back from. If they have real desires in getting into the postseason, it has to include a win against the Saints.
Yeah, I'd say that. And I was just thinking, because I was going back to last year, the Rams were 5-6 last year too. By the way,
yeah, they were.
It was a different 5-6
because they were 3-6 and they won a couple in a row.
And they were at 5-6.
Yeah,
and we saw how they finished last year. So I know I try not to go back and you say, oh, they've got that in them or they could do that, but we've
different
seen,
team.
Yeah, it's a different team, and we've seen crazier things happen. But that also gives me the confidence that they still haven't played their best football yet, that they still have some stuff that they need to get figured out. And you have 6 games that Sean McVey can make some changes. Your season's on the line now. So you can't – you got to go with the hot hand. You got to go with what feels right. If a guy's fumbling, I mean, you got to make changes, maybe cut back on the reps, maybe get some more guys ready to go. That's what I think over the next couple of weeks is really going to be all about for the Rams. And it starts in New Orleans, which is a place that has never been an easy place for the Rams to go out and win.
No, it hasn't.
And regardless of their record, it is a tough place for the Rams, for anybody.
It feels like they play the Saints every year,
yes.
too. Considering that they're not in the same division, at least
New
not
Orleans,
anymore. It feels, well, we saw them on a Thursday night here last year. It's just it feels like they play them every single season along the way. And you said it a second. They're going to have to find a way to play their best football moving forward. Maybe this is their best football. Not tonight. That's not what I'm getting at. Tonight isn't their best effort. We've seen them play better. Yeah. But maybe the best they look is how they looked against New England, how they looked against Minnesota, how they've looked in some of these other games against San Francisco where they kind of pull one out of their hat at the end of the game. That maybe this is just who they are, where they're never going to be that smooth running team that we've seen previously under Sean McVay, but rather a team that kind of, fights and scraps down to the last game, whether you're playing a really good team or whether you're playing a team that maybe not be as good as you are.
Effort would never be something that that comes up when I talk about this team. We've never said, oh, the Rams quit today. They're a bunch of fighters. They're going to continue to battle. They go out and give everything that they got. And then sometimes it's just not enough. The talent that's across from you is just a little bit better. And you go back to the drawing board. That's what Sean McVay always preaches. We found something on the internet, talking I think the cameras of NBC.
Yeah.
Had a close-up of Sean McVay's playbook or play sheet. And on the sheet it had
see the game one play at a time.
See the game one play at a time. And that's like the metaphor for, I think, football is see the game one game at a time. Like, we lost the game, 5-6. That team over there is in a different direction. Yeah.
It's a week-to-week league.
How do we be the best team and get to 6-6? And then if we get to 6-6, they've got another opportunity against a big-time opponent in Buffalo, right? And if they beat Buffalo, who knows, right? That'll be
San
a shocker
Francisco
around
on the heels of that.
Like, it's just every single week things are going to be different. It's a week-to-week league, and once you figure that out, and I think Sean McVay's figuring it out, this is the roller coaster. It's hard to be successful week in and week out, no matter what team you are.
The week against leading up to New Orleans is a big week. It's a big game. They got to win it. What happens after that, I think, will determine what the season is, because you have Buffalo here at SoFi Stadium, and then on a short week on a Thursday night, you got to go up to San Francisco to play the 49ers. And they're, we'll see where they are. They're desperate right now. This is a situation that is pretty, dire, quite frankly, that they're in a spot where they have to find a way to win these games.
Mm-hmm. They got to find a way. And there is a path. And with that path, I believe that, the division games are going to be the ones that we look at the most, but you have to win these. Jets, Saints, and your divisions. Those are the ones that we're going to talk about the most. Jets, Saints, your division. That should be the mindset. That should be everything about the Rams moving forward. And then after all, you hope 9 wins. That's what the goal is, to finish over 500. And then you get there, let the chips fall where they may. I think last year was they exceeded all of the expectations. They exceeded everything because we thought this team was going to tank. They were going to be bad. We gave them expectations this year, and now they're underperforming. they have the same record like last year.
It feels very different.
It feels different, but when you look at it on paper, it's like, oh, at the same time last year, Rams were 5-6.
They got to win on Sunday against the Saints. Very quickly before we call it a night, Jared Verse tonight he had some mistakes to be sure.
Right.
The Rams couldn't stop the run. Saquon Barkley went crazy, but there were a couple of plays, Kirk, that Verse had that were just like, oh, right, there's a first-round draft pick out there. And he put some very good players on skates tonight.
He has a motor, and he has a physical nature about his game. And I know a couple callers asked, like, why aren't the Rams a physical team yet? Well, that's not Jared Verse. Jared Verse is a physical component.
Yes, he is.
And maybe he gets other guys to rise to that, and you could have a physical style, aggressive type of defense. I think that all comes along, but you can just see he's far and away ahead of a lot of defensive players in the league for rookies. And I thought tonight he stood out more than Kenyon Mitchell.
Yeah.
Who was also the other rookie that people were looking at for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
He keeps playing like this, he's going to win that award, which
I
would
hope
be
so.
a terrific accomplishment for him. Final score from SoFi Stadium, 37-20. The Eagles beat the Rams. Up next, the New Orleans Saints. Pregame show 1 week from today on Sunday afternoon, starting at 11 o'clock with myself and Kirk Morrison live from – we'll be in the studio is where we'll be live from, Kirk. It is
I'll see you there.
We will see you there. That's going to do it for tonight. For Kirk Morrison, I'm Travis Rodgers. This has been the Rams postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Thank you for listening to Rams Eagles tonight, Sunday Night Football, Week 12, as the Rams drop this one to the Eagles.
Rams football is presented by Call Jacob. A lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. Call Jacob, and he will win for you. Call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB.